Obviously we've got at least two to come into the team, with Cullen and Douglas both being unavailable. So we've got a few options with guys who've been in the SANFL. People like Cook, Riley, Aiden Riley I'm talking about, Henderson, Brodie Smith, Ivan Maric, those types of players. So it'll probably come from Luke Thompson. It'll probably come from that group of players, I guess.
Aiden Riley's been, I didn't see his game last week, but he's been knocking on the door for a long
Yeah.
time now. How much does it come down to your form right at the moment, and how much do you reward someone for a sustained period of pretty good form?
No, it'll come down to Aiden's form in the end, that he'll need to force his way into our team by performance. And there's some areas of his game, Pete, that I really enjoy and I'm really pleased with, particularly his contested part of his game. But he needs to continually work on his offensive, his running part, which he's doing. He's trying really hard. I've seen him play a few times live, and I probably just still want a bit more out of him in that area there. Otherwise, I could be putting him into an environment that he's not ready for.
Neil, all the talk about inside information and past employees now at different organisations, is it all theatre, or is it actually genuinely a factor this week?
Mostly theatre, Ian, but it's good theatre, isn't it? It's good theatre, so yeah, mostly theatre. I guess specifically you're talking about Simon Goodwin and Scott Camporeale here. So and previously we've had Don Pike, West Coast Eagles, Paul Hamilton, North Melbourne, Essendon, David Noble, Western Bulldogs. So it gives you a little bit, but I wouldn't be able to sit here after the game and say we won because of Scott's input, or we lost because of Simon's input, or it was better than Scott's. It adds a bit, but it's just a very small part of it. But it makes good reading and good conversation.
What's your take on the Taylor Walker so-called sling tackle in the SANFL last weekend?
Well, I don't get too much involved in that, Ian. I mean, it's if you've got a guy, I mean the rules at AFL are pretty clear. If you've got him, just be careful what you do with him. So we had the right to appeal, which we did, and we came up short. So you get on with it.
What does that do for Taylor Walker's season now? I mean, he misses another week.
You can
arguably say he wasn't in the form good enough to warrant selection maybe this week anyway.
Yeah.
Delays him for another couple of weeks.
Yeah, not ideal. I mean, I spoke to Taylor about that this morning, but his intent was fine with what he did, so I don't have an issue there. It wasn't premeditated or anything like that. So, so we just spoke about the importance of this week's training, which he'll do with Jason Portpleasure, to do as much as he can and do it as hard as he can, because he needs to play now. Once now his knee's ready, clearly he needs to play, so it's not ideal for him.
How much can you actually replicate on the training track? I know it's not a game, but in terms of workload, what percentage level can you get to in terms of
physical workload? You can do it. No doubt you can replicate the physical workload, but what you can't replicate, I mean, he'll do some training, some physical training and some ball work, probably with 4 people. So your decision making, your timing, and your positioning, that's what you miss out on, and that's exactly what Taylor needs to be exposed to. But that's the way it falls. I would expect Essendon would be coming over here trying to change their record here. We need to build on what we saw against Sydney in terms of the way we went about our footy, and that's our main concern at the moment, and our major goal is to put another game together like we did against Sydney in terms of the effort, the competition, the busyness. Someone said to me the other day, I saw the Sydney game, that's typical Crows, and that's probably the best way to sum it up. And we need to make sure that we're typical Crows again for the rest of the year if we can.